Look here. Hi, everybody. Happy Travel Tuesday, and meet Buster. Buster's the kitty that I'm house sitting. He's been with me all week. Are you ready to go? You done? He's the sweetest thing. Here, one more. Say hi. Hi. His owner had to travel last week, a whole week all the way up to California. So I ended up with him. Say hello. Hi. Anyways, and I thought, well, you know what? It's spring break here, and I wanted to travel as well. So I thought, well, not going cross country, just going down to the beach, maybe 4 or 5 hour drive at the most. I'll bring him with me, right? Because how hard could that be? The dogs have traveled a little bit. I discovered that traveling with a cat is next to impossible. Not because of them, but because the travel industry is biased. Hotels that might say they're pet friendly, not so much. Dog friendly is really what they mean. If you're talking any other kind of pet, no. And I only discovered this because I had to dig. But so we're going to talk travel with all kinds of pets, but I kind of wanted to share that first because it's not something I realized, and I understand it. I used to own a property that I would rent out, and I got burned hard renting to pet owners in the past. So I get it. You need to be so careful because say that particular pet has fleas, which was what happened in my case. The next renter ended up canceling because there were fleas in the condo, and it was horrible. But I'm on the flip side. I'm saying if your pet is part of the family and you want to take that pet with you traveling, regardless of how or what have you, I have got some tips for you today. I will tell you treasure trove of information you will find on a website called pettravel.com. It is a worldwide resource for pets. And I had no idea all the things you have to know. Like I did know airline pet policies. You should always check that. Pet passports, you need these for certain countries. You need to make sure that they've got their immunizations up, and some countries require specific ones. They have tips on how to make sure that you get the pet acclimated. Say you're flying and they're going to need to be in a carrier, getting them acclimated to the carrier, that kind of thing. Great resource. I highly recommend if you're going to travel with your pet, check that. But I was just doing basic Google searches last week. Like I said, I was trying to get down to the beach and wanted to bring the cat. Instead, I just decided, you know what, not worth putting the cat through it or going through everything with the hotels. And we just waited. We're going to go, not tomorrow, the next day, Thursday. But I discovered that, a couple of things. There was one stat that I pulled up that kind of blew my mind. I'm trying to see. When I first looked at how to fly with them, because United was in the news last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, when the dog was put in the overhead carrier and passed away. Private jet sharing companies have jumped in and said, we're your answer for this. If you love your pet, don't just put them on a regular airline, book a private jet, which I thought, great idea. There's one called Victor, and they now offer first class instead of first class service. They said that the percentage of passengers traveling with pets jumped 11% in the last year. I want to say it's higher. I want to say it's much higher, because I will tell you, 5 years ago, you didn't really see dogs on planes, really. And now with all the emotional support animals, they're everywhere, right? So anyway, some basic flying tips. Back to that particular private jet charter service. I'm not sure how realistic this is for most of us. I think I read, there's no membership fee or subscription fee. Well, thank God, because booking one flight from San Francisco to LA, that's not even that far, right, was $16,791 on a Learjet 60, which seats 6. So you're going to split that and end up paying about $2,800 a piece. That's a lot when you compare to, the same flight, round trip being about $106 on like Alaska Airlines. So worth noting. And there are pet experts. There's a company, oh gosh, what was it? Air Pets America, which is manager of, essentially they help you transport pets. And they said flying commercial is still the most economical, best way to go. Regardless of news of recent events, plenty of pets do travel just fine. And most of the airlines, they're trained on what to do if there is an emergency with the pets, where a charter flight might not be. So that's good. You know, and I think everybody's already heard, like, United had the most incidents with deaths, animal deaths, most number in 2017. But apparently this Air Pets America group says that they've taken ownership of the fact that they have messed up and that they're trying to get it right. So that's worth knowing. Some tips preparing for your trip. It's regardless, you need to make sure that you talk to the vet before you go. Make sure that the pet's healthy, has the right temperament for travel, which apparently Buster, his owner, says no. Do you see him back there strutting? Love it. You know, get a certificate that shows your pet is up to date on vaccines, including rabies, distemper, kennel cough, so that if you need it, you've got proof. And wherever you're traveling to, put together a list of the veterinarians and animal hospitals in the area, and find out, like, local pet regulations. Some places do require something extra, including, you know, like parks and things like that. You even hotels. I found this. A lot of them that were pet friendly still said you could not just leave the pet unattended in the room. So I don't know what you're going to do if you want to go out to dinner and it's not a pet friendly restaurant. So that's important. Check all that stuff out. I'm going to go back to the hotel part because that really, really blew my mind. I thought pet friendly meant all pets. It does not. It does not. There are some hotel chains that do allow cats. And the top of mind one that I found was the Whole Choice Hotels line, which is like Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality, Sleep Inn, Clarion, not your top of the line hotels, but if you're traveling, you have a cat and you need a place to sleep, they're decent places to stay. They're not, you know, they're not going to be your Four Seasons. That said, not all Four Seasons accept pets. Most do. But the ones who do, they spoil those pets. Small dogs and cats, they say usually no more than 15 to 25 pounds, get in-room amenities like beds, water bowls, piddle pads, and concierge at pet-friendly locations. So, like, they have lots of tips. The concierge will tell you where you can take the dog locally, that sort of thing. So that's a good one. So another thing to check with any of these hotel chains that I'm going to bring up is to see if there's an extra fee, because in some cases there is. Another one is La Quinta. La Quinta says of its more than 830 U.S. locations, only 4 of them will not take pets. And they're one of the lines that does allow cats and dogs, and they'll take, I think, up to 2 at no extra charge. Kimpton Hotels is another one. I love Kimpton Hotels. And they say they welcome any pet that can fit through the door. That's kind of good to know, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a dog, a cat, a snake, could be a bird. They do not charge extra. And double check any of this I went to each hotel website and tried to grab the information, but just double check me in case you end up booking one of these, because it's important. But Kimpton, they also offer pet beds, concierge list of like pet friendly places to take them, restaurants, parks, and complimentary nightly wine reception where the pets get to go, right? I think that's pretty cool. And if you don't bring your pet and you want one, they will put a pet fish in your room. Pretty cool, I think. There's also the Lowe's Hotels and Resorts. They have a pet program called Lowe's Loves Pets. And I think they have a service fee of $25. So that's important to know. You can have up to 2 pets per room, and they've got pet mats, food, water bowls, treats, even litter boxes. But again, check on the cat thing. There's even a room service menu for the Lowe's hotels. Best Western is also pet friendly, and they have properties that allow 2 dogs up to 80 pounds in each room. And Ace Hotel, I'm not as familiar with that line. Fairmont, Hotel Indigo, also pet policy is it's an intercontinental brand. They have they roll out the red carpets. They have welcome treats, doggy beds, and their fees are usually like $25 to $75. And Red Roof Inn is another one that will welcome pets. So if you're crossing the country, it's good to know where you're able to stop with the pet. I think, again, double check, make sure that pet friendly actually means cat friendly, not just dog friendly. I really feel like they should qualify. If it's a resort or a hotel that's only dogs allowed, it should be dog friendly, not pet friendly. They shouldn't be able to call that, because I almost just grabbed the cat and went and would have been ignorant, would have been checking in at this hotel, paid the little pet fee, and then boom, what are you going to do? So that's important. Do that. And if you're traveling with them by car or by plane, again, be up to date on all of those rules, all of the immunizations. Air travel is going to be the one that you really need to worry about. Their advice was give your pet water immediately before they go in the crate. And that makes me think, well, are they going to need to go to the bathroom then? I've heard other people say, no, hold off. Do not feed your pet for 6 to 8 hours before getting on a plane. So that's an important tip. And check the airline's weight restrictions and bring your pet's vaccine records and ID tags, because the last thing you want is your beloved family member disappearing and someone not being able to connect that pet back with you. So all good tips. I think it's important. Again, mostly these days, if you're flying with them, check every standard, so that you're not the person on the plane. I read a case last week where somebody was flying and their emotional rescue animal was over 100 pounds. And the flight attendant tried to get them kicked off the plane. They actually did remove them. And then this was American Airlines. American Airlines actually reimbursed the mom, the child, and the mom and child for the flight. I don't know if they'd paid for the pet because he was an emotional support animal, but he was over 100 pounds. He was a big one, and the flight attendant said he was just too big. So this is all stuff I just wouldn't want to have to deal with on vacation. I'd want to know everything's clear, everything's good. We've got a letter from whoever we need the letter from, and just be done. So, but if it's just a little road trip, again, keep your pet's attitude or mindset in mind, just to make sure that they're good to go, and not going to ruin the trip. You want everybody to have fun, including the pet. I personally, my dogs, no way. My littlest one might be able to make it. He's a Chihuahua, but I have a fabulous pet sitter who lives one street over. She loves on them, and I will tell you that if you ever need a great dog sitter, I hope you find someone just like Sydney, who's my gal. She sends me texts with photos of the dogs 2-3 times a day. It's fabulous. Sometimes it's just better, to leave them at home if you can. But I totally understand if they're part of the family why you'd want to bring them along. So these are some good tips. Again, best resource I found when I was digging around and poking around was pettravel.com. I highly recommend, if you've got any questions whatsoever, they have the info on flying with plane or flying with them. Hi, Mary. Hi, Yana. I saw you were on too. These are key things. I think if you need any information, go there. Most of it is available, but then definitely confirm on the hotel website where you're staying or the airline, because again, Sheraton, I'm headed down there Thursday at the beach, and I was going to take this cat because, I was house sitting. We were going to go earlier in the week and ended up switching our days, because even though I read it was pet friendly, when I got down to the nitty gritty and the little teeny tiny print, it said only dogs, no cats. And that would have stunk to get 6 hours away and go, okay, where are we going to stay now? So at any rate, you guys, that is my travel advice for today. Happy travels. I hope you will join me again next week. If you liked what you heard, definitely follow along and give us a like. All right. Happy travels.